Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out to join a conversation with Mayor Baraka and the leadership team. My name is Sarinthia. I'm over Newark People's Assembly. I want to thank you all for coming. Also, today you will learn who the directors and the leadership is inside the city of Newark and what they're responsible for. And then after they introduce themselves, we'll take all question and answers afterwards, okay? I just want to make sure that we want to hear everybody's conversation, make sure everybody get a chance. So keep it at 3 minutes, 2 minutes maybe, because it's a lot. Also making sure we're hearing, right? We might get excited about certain conversations, but let's just make sure that we allow everyone to be able to respond and listen and understand and be respectful. With that being said, I'm going to get started. I want to thank Mayor Baraka for coming. Also, we have our West Ward Councilman, Councilman Kelly here. Our Councilwoman Roundtree, Reverend Roundtree is here. With that being said, we're going to start introducing the directors. You can start.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Gabrielle Thomas. I am Mayor Baraka's Senior Policy Advisor and Communication Strategist. Essentially what that means is I work closely with our state and federal legislators to help advance the mayor and the city's agenda, as well as working closely with our directors to do the same. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Kareem Adeem. I'm the Director of the Department of Water and Sewer Utilities, West Ward resident, and currently the Interim Director of DPW. Water and sewer, we handle all your water issues from supplying clear drinking water to making sure we convey your sanitary sewer, storm, and drain water. DPW, we're responsible for picking up your trash, recycling, cleaning your streets, taking your trees down, and taking your trees down and filling potholes. All right?
I almost yelled out, when do you do this?
Good evening, my name is Kenyatta Stewart. I'm the Corporation Counsel for the City of Newark. We handle all the legal matters. Essentially, we have four essential sections. We have a prosecutor's office where folks have municipal court issues. We have a labor section which deals with whenever there's an issue with one of the employees throughout the city. We have a contract section that deals with all the contracts that come in and out of the city and end up on the council's agenda. And then also we have a litigation section. So whenever someone sues the city for any issues dealing with slip and falls or contracts or issue with one of the employees.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Benjamin Guzman. I'm the Acting Director of Finance. And as I said, Finance, we handle mainly the collection of the property taxes for the property owners in the City of Newark. We also collect the special taxes, which is parking, payroll, and hotel taxes. We also have license and permits for those businesses that are applying for license and permits, or even homeowners for their burglar alarm permits, etc. And we also have the tax assessor's office, which assesses the values of the property so that way we can set the tax rate for the city, and also any other financial analysis for the city and managing the city's money and making sure that we spend the city's money responsibly.
Great afternoon, everyone, or great evening. My name is Donnell Redding. I'm the Director of Recreation, Cultural Affairs, and Senior Services. My responsibility is to ensure everyone have fun, they have smiles on their faces, right? I just want to give you a little brief update. We have 6 pools. We have 4 outdoor pools, which is operable. We have 2 indoor pools. And we also provide services to our, what we call trailblazers, our seasoned citizens. So we have 5 of those locations as well. And also we have 4 centers of hope, where we bring families together and to ensure that that hope is being met by the City of Newark and Honorable Mayor Rajesh Baraka. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Miranda. I am the Public Safety Director for the City of Newark. I have the privilege to lead the police department, the fire department, and the Office of Emergency Management. I work with a great team. With me is the Police Chief, Sharonda Morris, our Fire Chief, Del Ortiz, and our Assistant Public Safety Director, Mr. Anderson. So thank you. We're here to serve you, make sure that the city is protected, and we are here to serve. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having us in your neighborhood. My name is Dolores Martinez Wooden. I'm the director of the Department of Engineering. Under engineering, we have code enforcement, traffic, engineering, and signals management, as well as the UCC building department. So if you have any questions, I know we're going to have an opportunity later. Again, thank you for having us.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Allison Ladd. I'm the Director of Economic and Housing Development. I brought some materials if you didn't have them and if you didn't see them at the Newark People's Assembly. So Economic and Housing Development, we have a resource guide that has various services and also contact information for housing developments. We also do NewarkHousingSearch.com, which if you're looking for new housing, affordable or home ownership, rental housing, you can also search. And we do have a housing navigator on staff, and they can also help you if you're looking for a new place to live. In addition, we do handle things around regulation for rent control. So we have a rent control office. I have some handouts about rent control. And also Office of Tenant Legal Services. So if you're facing an unlawful eviction or you're concerned about a notice that you got, you can call our office and we have pre-legal services provided for you. We also really encourage you to buy in our city and become a homeowner. We have $20,000 of down payment assistance, and we also have $40,000 for renovation of your home if you already live in it. And that's really exciting because a lot of people are being able to access $40,000 so you can renovate your house. And then finally, we do work a lot in real estate, and so we sell land to people who want to build and develop in their community. We also do some financing for that type of real estate, and we work with the land bank that's run out of Invest Newark. So I'll be here and happy to answer any questions as we get there. So great to see you.
Hello everyone, my name is Katlin Baptiste Alsberg. I am the director for the Newark Department of Health and Community Wellness. We serve as the public health arm of the city. We provide public health services like communicable disease surveillance and prevention, WIC, lead, but we also have a federally qualified health center where we provide primary medical care to adults, children, as well as dental care, women's health, and behavioral health. And we actually have a site right here in Speedway. We're here Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. So if you don't have a primary medical care home, we can be your home. Thank you. Hi everybody, my name is Michelle Morgan Trevelyan, and I'm the project manager for arts and culture for the city of Newark. That's the murals and Symphony Hall and all the art institutions that you see around in the city. So if you have any local artists that are interested in doing murals or artists that are interested in doing other things, just call our office at 973-733-6400 and ask for me, Michelle Morgan Trevelyan. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Louis Valerio, Director of the Office of Homeless Services here in the city. Just a little bit of background, the office was created by the mayor in 2022 to have a dedicated office, budget, and strategy to address homelessness in this great city. Our office provides several resources along the continuum of homelessness services, from street outreach, which responds to the daily crisis on the ground of our residents, emergency housing, transitional housing, which the mayor has expanded significantly with Whole Village 2 in our partnership with the Housing Authority, and also rental and housing navigation services. And recently we partnered with the state to expand vouchers that has helped our families and individuals in our city move into new housing to stabilize their lives. So thank you for having us.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shaka Lamonius. I am the interim director for the municipal courts. Happy Tuesday. We handle all lower level traffic and criminal offenses. So that's parking, traffic, and any minor criminal. If you have any questions about landlord or tenant or anything like that, that will be at the Superior Court, but we can absolutely guide you through that. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Pennington. I'm the business administrator for the city of Newark, and I run the day-to-day operation, take direction directly from the mayor. And often when you reach out to him or his office, I will assist him in resolving your issues with the complete staff of folks here as well. We look forward to hearing what your concerns are and addressing them as best we can. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Al Tariq Clark, Senior Westward Aide to the Mayor. I'm here to serve you as best hand. I have cards. I'll pass them out as the meeting starts to let out for all your concerns, anything in the community. Thank you.
Thank you all. So here you have it. You have all the directors. Now we're going to open up to questions and, I'm so sorry.
That's all right. I'm just watching. No, I appreciate it. Unfortunately, I have like a bunch of meetings, so if you see me leave in the middle, it's because I got to go to another meeting similar to this one. But the reality is we're having these meetings all over the city because our office here, Sarinthia McElroy and the People's Assembly have organized these across the city. These are meetings that we like to have generally in the ward, but I would advise you to organize these meetings in your neighborhood, to talk to her about having it on your block, having it in your building, having it with just your community, because these meetings get a lot of issues and stuff are talked about, and sometimes some of the things that get missed. If you want there's some specificity in some of the things and issues that you have, particular to your block, to your neighborhood, to your community, to your home, that's meaning you need to get all of these people or some of these people, the people that you need in your neighborhood, in your house, your living room, in your community room, and let us deal with those directly and specifically. That's the best way. This is a good meeting to introduce a lot of the issues to the directors and talk about it in a general sense. The more specific issues that you have, you should raise them today, definitely. But it's better if you had a meeting with just the people in your community that have the same issues that you have to get us, better equipped with trying to deal with the problems that you have. I do want to say there are a few people who go to all of the meetings. I would ask you guys to allow people who don't come to these meetings an opportunity to have to say what they say, because usually when the meeting is over, people come to me and say, I didn't get a chance to say what it is that I needed to say, or talk to the people I needed to talk to, and usually it's because we take a long time going back and forth with folks who we know their issues, and they come to the meetings all of the time. I would ask you to be respectful to some of the people who live here in these communities and give them the opportunity to say what their issues are so the directors can deal with them straight ahead. I do want to say something. Kareem introduced himself as the interim, as the DPW. That just happened a couple of days ago, well, a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, you said 4 weeks? 1 week. Obviously, that we've been in the last month or so having some really significant issues around DPW. We've been having some really significant, and it's not a secret, everybody knows that, right? Yeah. I mean, some people use it as an opportunity to do what they want to do, but at the end of the day, it's really significant issues, and when you have a problem, you got to address it, right? So at the end of the day, we did that, Kareem went over there before. Unfortunately, some of the things he had put in place didn't stay in place, so we're going to try to make those things reoccur until we find somebody that can do the job permanently. He is a great director, which is why we got him to go over there and help us out in this area in terms of management and direction, helped us get these lead service lines changed, helped us do a lot of things in the city as it relates to water. It takes a lot of management, takes a lot of direction in order to do those things, a lot of expertise in order to make these things happen. Sometimes people think it's easy to do the work that DPW does. It's a very hard job. You're dealing with a population of folks who, some of them never even had a job before, so they need good management, right? Need a good manager over there, and Kareem is that. He's not going to be the permanent director, because we're not trying to kill him, but we just want him to be over there for a little while to get things in order, at least to shape it up in a place where we hand it off to somebody, they're able to deal with the issues that we have. And we have some significant issues as it relates to DPW. People making decisions back and forth on the fly, and so most of those things are gonna change, right? And then some of these things that we're trying to address in the last couple of weeks. I know that Sarinthia and Gabby, who spoke earlier, there she is, put together a citywide kind of cleanup thing in the city to help DPW out, which is good. So we began doing that in the North Ward. I think we're going to be in the West Ward this Saturday. And if you or your block association, anybody else are interested in being out there, DPW will be out there because they get paid to be out there, so they're going to be out there, as well as other organizations. I was out there last Saturday. It was great to see community-based organizations and neighborhoods and block associations taking a part of what's going on. Because there's two things happening here. It's not just the lack of communication with the residents about garbage pickup, about recycling pickup, mattresses, and when to do that. All of the centers that we have in the wards, now I don't know if all of the residents even know we have centers where you can actually take your garbage there, or the things, your mattresses, or your TVs, you can actually take it there. You don't have to wait for them to come and get it. You can take it there, or you can call them and they'll come pick it up and take it to the center. Those existed? Well, it's supposed to, okay, but let me finish. It's supposed to be that way. Before you get into that, it's supposed to be that way. When he instituted it, when he first went there, he instituted that. Other people had it, and that, as a result, it didn't happen the way it's supposed to happen, but it will. But you can take it there. They're supposed to come and pick it up when you call. Obviously, that's one of the reasons why we had to make changes, because that wasn't happening. We're not trying to say it is happening, and when it's not happening, what we're saying is that it's supposed to happen. We would like to hear if it's not happening, so he can address that, because he's, as you heard, he was only over there for a week, and he needs to hear some of the deficiencies so we can begin to address some of those things right away. Like, it's not a conspiracy not to pick your garbage up. It's actually a lack of management, and we're going to deal with that very specifically to address those very specific concerns that individuals have regarding that, and it's important. So the first issue is about us being able to respond to our schedules. The second issue is about making sure that code enforcement is going out, taking care of people. When I say taking care of people, writing them up who are in fact putting their garbage out when they're not supposed to put it out, and are doing things that they're not supposed to do at households that have a bunch of garbage cans in the front and they're spilling all over on the street. The third thing is that we found, when I was out there a lot, was a couple of things. Remove those garbage cans off the main corridors. We have to put those garbage cans back on the main corridors. The last thing I would say is that it's really we are responsible for the way our neighborhoods look, right? There are some blocks that don't look like other blocks. Right? When I go around the city, when I was going around in the north helping clean up, because I was out there, it's not enough for me to tell other people to go out there. I'm gonna go out there with you. If everybody's going, I'm coming. So I went out there. So there are blocks that are obviously look a little different. I'm gonna just say different than some blocks. And the reality is we have to hold our neighbors and ourselves accountable for the stuff that we put out and leave out. People throw stuff on the street, they leave it out on the block. It's a mentality that we have to address collectively. And I think that it begins with us on the city side to begin to make sure we do our part, and then encourage our neighbors to help us to do the things that we need to do to keep our block and our community clean. And then sometimes some of us know there's 2 or 3 people on the block that's not doing that. So that's why it's important to have these meetings on your block and not just come to a general meeting, because most of the time in general meetings, you're gonna hear a lot of talk and a lot of complaints and so on and so on. And they're gonna write down and try to address most of it, but something is absolutely gonna get left out, right? Because a lot of people are gonna be talking. I would advise you to see Sarinthia when this is over and create a meeting on your block or your 2 or 3 blocks that we can come to, that you can invite me to, that you can invite a couple of people to, whether it's the police, DPW, code enforcement, whoever you need there, recreation, Office of Violence Prevention, to come to the block and talk to you about very specific concerns that you have on your block. Because what I find is that, you know, everybody has different complaints. Some people have generally the same ones, but they originate differently. And so it's important for us to have a discussion about what's happening in your neighborhood specifically, like not just in a general way. So we're gonna talk about the general issues here. We also want to get into the specificity of all of this at the same time, so we can do that. And I know we can't be in a school all day, so the directors will be around so you can address them. I know some of us are not extroverted, so we're not gonna get up and say all the things that we want to say. Some of the directors to be here, you can speak to them privately about issues that you have privately that you want to talk about, but you also can talk to Sarinthia and organize a meeting in your neighborhood or in your house, for that matter, right? And the block associations that do that usually get a better response. It's just like kids As an educator, the kids whose parents stayed engaged with the school usually got the most attention. And that's just a fact. It's human nature. So the reality is we have to make sure that our block and our community is engaged with the People's Assembly, that the directors are there on your block. Especially if you're making calls and nobody's responding to you. Or you're emailing and nobody's responding to you. You should be able to call and get the director to your house and to your block so they can resolve those issues for you.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, sorry about that. So I see there is a lot of people that's here who have concerns. So we're gonna try to keep it in an orderly fashion. So if you like to speak, you can make a line here if you can. If you're not, I will come to you if you're not able to get up. But I know there is a lot of people who have questions and I don't want to miss anyone. But also making sure that we're keeping our comments to a minimum so other people have questions. Also, I forgot to mention, so North People's Assembly, along with Mayor Baraka, we have initiatives. So when you form a block association, you get 15 free doorbell cameras. So once you do that, I know there are a couple of associations here who got their doorbell cameras. I know there are some associations who did not register with North People's Assembly. So please, we have the cameras. We want to set up a meeting with you quickly to get them out. So please see me after the meeting. Thank you.
You want to go after?
Yes. Okay. Hello, my name is Coral Taylor, and I live at South 11th Street in Newark, 104 South 11th Street. I have a sinkhole in front of my property, and I've been trying to connect. I generally go to the Block Association meeting over on 9th Avenue. Yeah, with Bonita's. Yes, yeah, okay. And I spoke to James Blaney. That's his name right there. And he said he had, I told him about that. Okay. So he said that he had came by to look at the area, but I never got a response. But then on the next meeting, I showed up there, but he wasn't there that day. But I would like someone to be able to, come and see it, and then, be able to let me know what to do about it or whatever.
Thank you, ma'am. My name is Kareem Medine from the City of Newark Department of Water and Sewer. I'm the director. We'll have somebody look at it later on today. I already texted the night guy to go look at it, the night crew. So he'll look at it and give us an assessment so we can address it in the morning. He's gonna go, I got water department, it's police, fire, water and sewer. It's like a 24-hour operation. So somebody's gonna go look at it right now so we can start assessing.
Yes, hi, Ms. Freeman. Nice sneakers, Mayor. Nice and shiny, I like them. Long story made short, I spoke with your brother ad nauseum about illegal conversions, which is creating overcrowding. We have slumlord conditions on my particular block. I've sent you videotapes, you directly, and to your secretary, and to your brother, videotapes showing drug deals, garbage not collected, garbage sitting out in front of the buildings. We had this discussion a few years ago, and you told me that there weren't to be garbage cans in front of people's property, unopened garbage, yeah, and they've been sitting out there. I do pick and sent that information in. It has not been addressed. It demeans and diminishes the value of the properties on the block. It creates a biohazard. We have giant rats that are bigger than the cats. So the cats that are running in the street can't do anything with these rats, okay? So long story made really short, your brother called Allison Ladd to talk to her about the illegal conversions and the lean-tos and shacks that people have built in their backyards and paved over their backyards. And they have people living in dugout basement apartments, and I've actually gone down to UCC and code enforcement to see if there were any permits. There are no permits for any of this. People digging out their basements, building on the roofs, paving over their backyards, and creating floods. It has to be addressed ASAP.
So first we need to, first you didn't tell us the block, so we need to know the block. That's number one. Ms. Freeman, that's number one. We need the block. But secondly, Allison Ladd, the director, the deputy mayor, economic development, doesn't deal with illegal conversions. The engineering director does here, so let's get the information and let's consider people. Okay.
Do you mind just saying the block? What street is it, please?
It's North 4th.
North 4th Street. Thank you.
Do you have that, director? Let's see.
Good evening again, Dolores Martinez, Woodland, Director of Engineering. I will check for the North 4, but what I can tell you is that we definitely have to come through the neighborhood because this is happening all over, and unfortunately it's happening behind closed doors most of the time. There's all kinds of work happening without permits. And the challenge for us is to be 100% aware and also to know whether or not they have come in for a permit or whether or not it is actually allowed to be done. So I'm going to follow up personally Okay.
Nothing has changed. Actually, they've doubled up, tripled up. There's even more people living in.
Okay, so yes, so we'll visit the block because what I'm gathering is more than one residence, more than one building. Okay. So we're gonna follow up, and I'm also gonna ensure that they are in court because when we do have illegal construction, they get a stop work order, and that's automatic court. So I'm gonna check North 4th to see who is in court and also visit the block once again.
Thank you, Director.
Hi, Sean Mason, Telford Street, not too far up the road. Nice to see you again, Mayor. I had two issues today, but I think you addressed the first one with the block associations and this cleanup here, which I'm going to follow up on with my councilman, Mr. Dupree. He's been very responsive, so that's a good thing, and I hope it's an indication of the direction that Newark is heading in terms of cleaning up the city, because I don't really see any reason why Newark can't be a cleaner city. My other problem is I have a homeless couple that have taken residence on the block. Mr. Dupree knows about it, but I think, in fact, I know that he's doing the best that he can, but I don't really understand what the city's policy is with regard to the homeless. Because the police can't do anything, and code enforcement can't do anything.
No.
But as a homeowner, and I'm sympathetic, but I know exactly why they're there. They are drug addicted, because I see them taking drugs. There's a dealer on the block, so that's why they're there. And my heart goes out to them. But as a homeowner, nobody wants that on their block.
I'm gonna let Louis address it, but I want to talk about it as well.
Are those squatters?
So we do have a housing first model. We don't have the policies and laws like other municipalities. The police can't move people because they're homeless. They can't take their encampments. They can't arrest them. They can't do anything because so calling the police is not necessarily the answer unless you see them doing drugs, and we can come and address them doing drugs or doing something that's breaking the law, and the police can intervene. Usually homeless services go out with the police just in case it gets crazy. But what we do, and I'll let Louis talk about that, is we try to encourage them to come into shelter or come into our programs. They don't have to say yes, right? And sometimes it takes us more than one time talking to these people over and over again to convince them to come with us. Some instances it's taken us over a month. We had a gentleman on Hawthorne Avenue and Clinton Place who the neighbors kept feeding, and he kept staying there over and over again. We move him, put him in crisis, he comes back, so forth and so on. Because we don't have the policies where we penalize people for being homeless, we try to address them on the street. We have both one vans that go out there try to address the drug addiction, try to address the mental health issues on the street. We even have folks that are certified to provide prescriptions to people while they're on the street, right? So we can do that.
I did have a conversation with Mr. Lewis. I'm sorry for your last name. And he was very responsive with a really nice conversation. And I did meet two of the women that worked with the big yellow van.
Right.
I spoke with them. And their visit made the situation better because there's more than two initially.
Right.
But this particular two, they don't seem to have.
Right. And you might be right. They probably are there because they have a pipeline to get the drugs that they need while they're there. So it may be a larger kind of discussion we need to have to involve the police department in that discussion. But ultimately, we're not going to force them to leave. You know, we're going to keep going out there, keep encouraging them. And whether people believe it or not, most of the time that works. Like it works. It works in different places around the city. It works. We give people alternatives. They take it. Not everybody does that. Some cities say you can arrest people, you can do this, but it doesn't make any sense for us to waste taxpayer dollars doing that. So, and how could they pay a fine and they don't have a job? So at the end of the day, we try to encourage them. And sometimes they visit these people 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So we'll continue to be on that. Got to continue to be on that. And I would say get the precinct captain involved because there may be some other stuff going on that we can try to figure out. You want to say something too?
I think you said it all, mate. But it's a pleasure to meet you in person. We did have conversations and really good conversations about this. But, you know, the mayor has, you know, again, the reason why the mayor created the office is to have a dedicated staff and strategy to address this. I mean, the mayor has invested a lot in expanding street outreach. And, you know, we also have expanded, and the mayor mentioned, the idea of having site nurses on the ground with street outreach members to, you know, provide prescriptions, to do psychiatric evaluations, and I'm happy to hear that we were able to connect some of those folks to services, but those two folks we're still working on. And we partnered with DPW to make sure that we also clean that up a little bit more, because I know there was a lot going on there. But I do appreciate, I'm not sure how you got my number, but I'm glad you got my number. It was all the council, okay, my bad, I didn't know. I missed that part. But I do appreciate the partnership with the residents, is why we're here.
What's the text number?
Oh, yeah, so, yeah, and again, you know, this is for anyone, and we're expanding this, we're adding more folks on the ground to respond to this, but it is PATH Home. The word PATH Home, you text those two words to 855-11. We got a few today because of the heat, and we have been responding to those, inquiries from our residents. So let's continue to be, yes. So the word is PATH Home to 855-11.
You don't have to put the dash in.
Yeah, you know. And let's continue to, partner together to respond to our most vulnerable in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Mayor. My name is Miriam Bay, and I live on Underwood Street. And Mayor, you've been on my block. It never looked as bad as it looked today. And you mentioned something earlier about how you go through the wards and you see how some places are kept and some are not, and how we're responsible. I agree with you on that. But since we have so many slumlords, that's an issue. Okay? Because on my block, those who are two-family homeowners, you don't see the same thing with 4 families. Okay, so since the slumlords have come in and taken over the block, they don't care. All they want is the money. So I want to know, and when I speak to council meetings, I do speak about this, but the issue is, of course, we're all responsible. But Once these slumlords came in and purchased the four family homes, you know, that's
Right.
what it looks like hell, okay? And this is what I don't like. The message that we're sending to our children, that it's okay to walk up the street with all this garbage and everything out. I don't understand why code enforcement isn't coming out to find out who is doing what they're doing, okay? And then the other thing is the shelters, because as you know, I work with brothers and sisters who have been incarcerated, and when they come home, they go into these shelters, which are also owned by the slumlords, and they are intimidated. And when they complain about the conditions, they're threatened by being sent back to prison. So, and I have an issue with that, right? And then the last thing is dealing with all of this construction that's going on in the city. How come Newark residents aren't getting jobs?
They are.
You know, no. You know, I know they're getting some, but they're not getting it to the extent that they need to be getting it.
That's true.
Okay? Thank you. So I just wanted to share those.
Those are three issues that I want to address. One, so at the end of the day, when code enforcement come out, they write tickets. So I just want y'all to understand what code enforcement's job is. That they can't make anybody clean up or do anything. What they're doing is writing a ticket. The ticket goes to municipal court, right? We've been trying to get that to be a little better in terms of making sure that they have all the information, because sometimes when the code enforcement puts it in court, the judges are not fining these people the way they should fine them. And that has to do with how the ticket is written and how the report is made and various things that we're tightening up so that we can begin to fine these people. The problem is the people who put the garbage out are the ones they're not getting fined. They're not going to get fined. The person that's going to get fined is the homeowner. And sometimes the homeowner might be a slumlord. Sometimes they might not be. Some of these guys may be local guys who purchased a building and have tenants in there, and the tenants are doing the things over and over again. The reality is, like, so we deal with the fact that they're complaining that we're fining them, but they gotta find a way to pass that on to the tenant or evict them or do whatever it is, which is a long process. So, or the LLCs, right? Or the LLCs who buy the property, and the LLC's address is the address of the apartment, of the building. So finding them, so I have an LLC, and if we find the LLC or find the address of the LLC, it'll be the actual house and not where the business actually is. So it takes us some time through the water department and other folks trying to figure out who these people are. It's not an excuse, it's just the severity of this issue. The state is trying to pass a law where people, when they have an LLC, that they have to identify themselves, at least one person, where they are, and to make one person responsible for that. Because I could have 15 different LLCs and have 15 different projects in the city of Newark, and none of them have my name on it, right? And so it is almost a shell game for us to try to figure out who's responsible for this. And we can go there and clean and lean the property, means we have to go on people's property to do specific things, which we weigh whether it's worth doing that or not, because we can get sued. Weigh whether it's important enough for us to go on the property and do X, Y, and Z. If it's a danger, if it's crazy, if it looks like illegal dumping, if it's falling apart, then maybe we'll do that and lean the property. But when we do that, we spend money. Like the city spends money and hope we don't get it back. And that's really and generally how it goes. I think that's why it's important for us to have block association meetings so we can come on the block and allow us to ring these people's bells, right? And talk to these folks and even invite them to the block association meetings. The problems that we have are problems that we refuse to work collectively on, right? And I think if we're on that block and we know exactly who those houses are and how to stay on those people over and over again, you'll see some level of improvement, obviously, and find the owner, even if we have to get their water bill, if we have to find other bills to put pressure on them, we can do that, right? We just have to, make it important enough consistently to put pressure on them. And I know some of these guys have 50, 60, even 100 properties that they're going around looking at. But that's why it's important for us to come to your neighborhood so we can give you the attention that you deserve, because you deserve it on your block to get some of these people removed, right? Or get the house to be cleaned up, or get the fines to go to the people
that need to be fined. That's clear. In terms of the shelters, I'm personally not a fan of sheltering, right? Obviously, the state and the county and everybody, the shelters get contracts with everybody, not just the city. The county get contracts, they state contracts, and they come. The minute, when I first started putting pressure on 224, the people in the community start going crazy. Like, oh, why you put pressure on the shelter? Because they, to me, are what you said, warehouses. So we moved towards transitional housing. We went to the Housing Authority, told them we'll fix 200 of your apartments. We did that so we could take some of the chronically homeless. And I'd rather put them in transitional housing for 2 years than make them go to a shelter. People are using shelters as their address, right? And we're not able to move people out of shelter, so it's becoming warehousing. People are making $400,000 a month from sheltering. And so it's a big business, right? And so we're trying to, on the city side, to reduce the number of people we put in shelters and start transferring people to transitional housing. That's why Hope Village is important. That's why the Housing Authority is important. All of the places we're trying to find to move people into transitional housing. But the state wants emergency sheltering. There is a place for emergency sheltering. If you have a fire in your house and you need shelter immediately, if you find yourself in a bad situation, you need shelter immediately. That's what I think emergency sheltering is for. Chronically homeless need services. They need permanent homes. They need a key to their house. They need transition. They need support so they can move on. But we have it flipped instead of the way that it should be. And we're working on that. And hopefully with the county's help and with the state help, who just gave us some money. The state just gave us some money to expand sheltering, though, not transitional housing, sheltering. So that just means more money to the shelters that you're talking about, because that's what they want us to do, right? And we don't know the shelter people. They got an RFP. The city spends millions of dollars a year on sheltering. Millions of dollars a year on sheltering, right? We're trying to transition those dollars to transitional housing because I think it's better used and it's cheaper in the long run. It's cheaper in the long run. But we're having a struggle trying to figure out how to do that in a way that makes sense. The health department is involved, homeless services is involved, state DCA is involved. We're trying to get the county involved, because I'm gonna tell you this, homelessness is really a county function. Social services is really a county function. These things that we do in the city of Newark, because they're our residents and the people on our street, whether they came from somebody else's city or not, because a lot of people come from other people's city. We respond to it because of these meetings and because we think that we should. But sheltering and welfare is a county responsibility. That's a county responsibility. We do get ESG dollars to help, but money goes from the state and the federal government to county government to deal with homeless services. 90% of the homeless people in Essex County reside in Newark. We don't get 90% of those dollars. We have to be creative about how we find dollars. 90% of the people, and the more services we provide, the more people come. So if I'm homeless in Millburn and they don't have sheltering in Millburn, or food lines in Millburn, or transitional homes in Millburn, those people are going to find their way to Newark. Or if you're addicted to drugs and you come to Newark to buy drugs and you wind up staying in our city, get a municipal ID for a couple of months, then they telling people I'm a Newark resident, so now we're providing you with services with our dollars, right? Which is why we opened up our own office. And I agree with you with the sheltering. And I think it's a lot more we have to do collectively, but I think we need to have a real serious brainstorming meeting with the community about how we respond to homelessness. When we build stuff in people's community, like we don't want homeless people in my community, that's why I don't want to build it, but they're already there. They're already there. So we're just trying to figure out how to shelter them or give them housing. I hate to say shelter them, give them housing, because the sheltering system, in my opinion, doesn't work. It's broken.
My name's Jarrell Elliott, District Leader 36, retired Battalion Chief, Newark Fire Department, and Westwood residents live on Tuxedo Parkway. I want to thank you, Mayor, for your people, your staff, which I know most of you, and I work with them a lot. But my concern is the hiring practices in the city of Newark, and it's particularly with the fire department. I believe it was a few years ago, I think it was one of the Pre-Kelly's people that got knocked off the job for a tattoo. So right now, our numbers for blacks and minorities are dwindling at such a rate that it doesn't look like the city we live in. This is a dangerous profession. Most people is not going to do this profession if they got to worry about their life on top of a dangerous profession. So you need to feel secure in the job. And one of the biggest problems is for people trying to get a job to have to pay money when I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for a job, I ain't got no money to pay no $800, $1,000 to get this profession. So some of the policies are bad, but they seem really bad for blacks. Let me just say that, it seems really bad for blacks. So I wish we can do something about it. I spoke at one of the meetings, I think the PA even spoke, and he said there's issues for that, but I don't know if the problem is when they talk to minorities, they talk a different way, and when they talk to somebody else, they get encouragement, they get all the right answers. So I'm not sure what the problem is, but it's a problem. I mean, you can look at the numbers. And I know when I came on this job, I really had to fight. We had to really fight the racism and the prejudice. But now we're fighting a different type of bias. I don't know what it is, but we're fighting a different kind of bias.
I'll let them address them on their own, because I don't want you to talk about them while they're here. They need to say something. But
I want to hear too.
in terms of the money, the city
Right over my daughter.
gives Newark residents money to pay for the things they need in order to be in the academy, police academy and fire. We do that. We pay. So the money shouldn't be a problem to people, because the city subsidizes Newark residents to go to the fire academy and police academy that we started. I know that. So I'll let these guys, if you want to address that, give you a chance to address that as well.
And the answer was past the buck. Did you talk to this one? Did you talk to that one? You didn't know how to have information.
Good evening. My name is Director Stephen Anderson, Assistant Public Safety Director. How you doing? I appreciate your question. But I can assure you that the hiring process, we are definitely taking a look at that. The candidate investigation, we're taking a look at that as well. But I can also assure you, as far as the investigation process is fair, it is equitable, and we're doing the best we can. I appreciate your question, but we're definitely going to look at the hiring process and make some definitive changes if need be. Yes, the recent classes, if you look at the recent class, the ratio is definitely changing. But also, in terms of the hiring process, we have to understand that there is a process. And one of the things that we're going to change now, going forward, when we select the candidates, one of the things that we do is we do a pre-training now, which we never done that before. So once the candidates are selected, we send them down to the training academy, and we get them ready and physically fit to actually do the job and explain to them what the job entails. We don't do that. Well, normally what we do, we select the candidates, we send them to Middlesex County or Union County. And a lot of times they fail out because of the physical attribute. So one of the things that we want to do now differently is get them up to speed, get them up to training, let them know what the training is about. We'll work with them for over a month or so. This way now they understand what the training is all about.
I want to add to that.
Okay.
I want to add something new that's happening as well. So the police department is predominantly black and Latino. I think it's like 20% women or something at this point now. The department and the police have changed tremendously, and I would accredit that to one, the civil service, the alternative civil service thing that we have, but also the Hispanic law enforcement and the Bronze Shields take a proactive approach to recruiting residents of this city and getting them prepared to become police officers. The Vulcans, in a sense, have begun to do that as well. The new president, they have this class that they partnered with Newark Works, with One Stop, and we have a class of young people that are going through Newark Works right now, so they're getting paid a summer job to be able to go through the classes that they need in order to figure out how to become a part of the fire service in the city of Newark. I believe that's going to have a lot of dividends for us. I'm looking forward to the outcome of what that looks like, And what it means is like the Vulcans have taken a proactive approach to identify kids and people in the city of Newark to give them a pathway to be in a department. And they don't have to worry about the money anymore because the city is going to take care of the money at the same time. But what you're saying is not incorrect, right? So at the end of the day, there was some discrepancy in my mind when you look at fire, when you look at police, but I think it is being addressed proactively.
Also, to your point, too, absolutely 100%. Preparation is the key. And I think in the past, we didn't really prepare these candidates properly. So we took an overall look at everything, and I think that's pretty much the key to everything, just preparing them. Preparation is key.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Also cover it. Also, you have to make sure you cover it. It's the type of tattoo that person may have had on. Is it gang related? A lot of times that knocks out.
Oh, the white boys have tattoos. There's what the
Yeah, so
problem.
we're actually changing the policy for the new hires. Obviously, we can't do it for the prior hiring case, because we don't want to, have those issues. But now we're actually changing the policy to remove all that. When it comes to tattoos and probably like back in the day where they used to have like a minor possession of marijuana, obviously that will knock down some candidates. So we're changing all that policy also.
Thank you. I just, Deputy Mayor.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having this West Ward community meeting. My name is Lakeisha Yuri. I'm the Deputy Mayor for Public Safety here in the city of Newark. Mainly doing a lot of the community-based public safety side around the Office of Violence Prevention and Trauma Recovery, and the Brick City Peace Collective, and all of the organizations that are doing work in the city, working alongside with our Public Safety Director, Emmanuel Miranda.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Diane Parker. Parking. I live 5961 South 9th Street. I have an active driveway. They're constantly blocking the driveway. Call the police, they don't come. I have to go on the sidewalk, not only myself, but other tenants. Yes, no, I'm just kidding. And, to have to go on the sidewalk, we shouldn't have to. Because there's a fire hydrant
They
there.
should be told it's illegal.
They should.
Right.
There's a fire hydrant in front of the house. They'll park right there too. So no one comes out.
You can't even park in front of your own driveway.
I can't.
No.
Absolutely. So from Thursday to Monday, a car sat in the middle of my driveway. And then at times there's an F-350 parked at the very end on the left-hand side. So now we gotta come out. How we gonna see? So I'm gonna get hit. And that's another problem.
And you called the precinct?
I've called so many times. So many times. I can show you my call log.
I believe you. I believe you.
I think the guys at DPW doing an excellent job. It's the problem. The problem is the residents. From 71 on down to Central Avenue, that's a problem. No one's breaking down their boxes. No one's taking out their trash. And if they are, they're not even putting inside the trash cans that you guys provided. So it's not the fault of the workers. It's the residents. It's the residents.
They still need to be fined, though, Bob.
They should. They should. Then there's one more thing. There's a big tractor trailer. He takes up the sidewalk.
It's illegal for those cars to park on the street, tractor trailer.
He's parked in his driveway, but you gotta go out to walk. So we have someone with motorized. Cops came out. The guy told me, he says, I'm gonna ticket them. He knows the resident. The resident talks to him. He gets back in his patrol car and he pulls off. I have a problem with that.
You should.
Yeah. I have a problem with that. 5961 South 9th Street.
Every precinct has their own precinct meetings.
Okay.
That you should go to the precinct meeting with the captain and everybody there and make these complaints at the precinct meeting.
I'm back in New Jersey
So
now, so I
that way they can have this information in a timely fashion. Nobody's supposed to park in your driveway.
Right.
The tractor trailer can't be leaned out in the street. None of that is legal. If you park your own car in front of your driveway, they have the right to tow your car.
Right.
Right, so if you're calling, just don't call 911 because it's not an emergency.
Right.
But the 6,000 number, I would say if you go to the precinct meetings and build a relationship with the community service officer, the precinct captain, the folks there, you probably get a better response. These guys can tell you if I'm right or wrong, but I think going to community-based meetings, people who have these block associations get better responses because they have relationships with the captain, with the CSOs, and the folks in that department. I think that's what these folks, you need to do that so that they know you,
Right.
not just the guy who's got his car out there the wrong way. They also know you.
Okay, so where's our nearest precinct?
So now that since you're here, before you leave, I want to speak to Captain Neil Laurie.
Okay.
Yep, he'll get your phone number. We'll address it immediately. Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jackie McCoy. I live on Maitland Place in North, and my question is in reference to the lead program. Earlier this year, we got this notice about having houses inspected for the lead at a cost of $300, depending on how many apartments you have in the building. I have 2 families, so they looked at it as a 1 family. I had the apartment inspected. It passed inspection. I went down and got my certificate to say yes, it passed inspection. The lady said, I said, okay, so now we're finished. She said, no, in 2 years you have to do it again. Why? Where am I going to get lead from to put in that apartment? Why am I going to have to pay $300? Why am I going to have to pay $300 to have it inspected again? It makes no sense to me. Please address that.
Yes, so thank you for the question. So the requirement to re-inspect every 3 years, that's a state requirement. It's 3 years, they've extended it now to every 3 years, but it's a state law. And so this is not something Mayor Baraka put in place. We have to comply with the state law. And the reason why there's a re-inspection cyclically is because the reason why lead becomes a hazard is because homes tend to deteriorate over time. And so even though you may not have a hazard right now, over time, you know, you're opening and closing your door, the paint starts to chip. You're opening and closing the window, paint starts to chip. Lead dust can accumulate in the house. And so a home that's built before 1978 that does not pose a hazard now could pose a hazard a few years from now. And so it's important to continuously, unless you do a complete... Because the house is old. Because the house is old. So what...
They don't make lead paint no more. And I think,
Yeah, I understand your concern. We have, let me explain one thing to you though. We set our prices for the inspection at a rate that is comparable to what you'll end up paying in the private market. But the one thing the health department does have is grant assistance programs, so that if there is a hazard in your home and you qualify based on your income, we can provide financial assistance to remediate or abate. But it is important to make sure we're going into the home on a routine basis to make sure that something that is not a hazard has not become a hazard over time. Okay?
Hi, my name is Michelle Walker. I live at 96 Cedar Avenue. And yes, I'm secretary of Block Association for Cedar Avenue, okay? And our president is Tyrone Robinson, okay? And we're gonna have y'all out there we're gonna have a meeting with y'all, yes. I have a question. We never got on Cedar Avenue the garbage cans. Nobody. People on Chelsea or Grand, they got theirs. Cedar Avenue, and some of these, we never got.
One meeting, please. I'm sorry.
So
One
now
meeting.
you're telling us, oh, well, back order. This 2 years ago. We will get, when the order come in, we'll get them. I'm still waiting. Okay, we still waiting.
Right. That's us. We have to buy them. I feel bad now that we even started the program, but at the end of the day, the reason that we started buying people garbage cans is because of the stuff that people are talking about. People they don't have proper garbage cans, and they got the garbage out, and it creates rats in the neighborhood because you're putting bags on the street. The bags on the street is going to invite rats. That's right. Or open trash cans. So we provide a garbage can that's rat-proof that you can close. Now, they're very expensive. We can't buy them all at one time. We got to buy them, you know, in phases. Now, 2 years ago, it shouldn't have been that. So we do have to revisit and figure out where our backwater garbage cans are. Since we started it, we have to finish it.
Okay.
We have to make sure you get your garbage.
Okay, that's number one.
Absolutely.
Number two, the garbage pickup. I have a problem with that. I've been up here since 78. Never had no problem with no garbage. I've been on 11th Street. Never had no problem with no garbage. And all of a sudden, starting in October or November, boom. We're not getting no garbage pickup. Sometimes we don't get garbage picked up in 2 weeks. What is going on? You never keep calling down me. Then I had a problem for the 4th of July. supposed to pick up the boat for the leaves and stuff.
I know.
My stuff was out there for 11 days that I got fed up because 4th of July was coming and it was burning up my grass, okay? So I put it in my car, I took it on 12th Street. But I shouldn't have to do that because I'm a taxpayer.
Well, that's
That's the sanitation. Oh, yes.
Right.
Okay?
I thought you said it was illegal dumping.
Okay, that's number 2. Now, when I called down here, the lady said, oh, we changed the date. Who changed the damn date? Ain't nobody let us know as the residents of West Ward. So they said, oh, put your stuff out Monday. Okay, Monday night. Yes! Monday night, they told us to put it out. We put it out Monday night, nobody comes. Tuesday, nobody comes. It's still sitting out there right now. Boxes. If it's boxes, it's the boxes. It don't make sense. So you, 96 So you come down that whole street. I am the secretary of that.
You're absolutely right, and we should come there. I have no answer for any of those things you said, except that to make you feel better, the business administrator's garbage ain't get picked up, my garbage ain't get picked up. But the reality is, we understand that it was a problem, and it started just when you said the right dates.
I know.
And at the end of the day, we had to make a change, and we did that. And prayerfully, the work that Kareem is going to do over there is going to level set all of that, so that you won't have these issues again.
Is Kareem the one that I visit down the street at the gallery?
Kareem is here. No.
No, that's not him, so that's a different person.
It's a different person. He's not from DPW.
Okay.
He was the director of water. He still is the director of water. We brought him over there as an intern. He's been over there for 1 week. Yeah, he was there. Let's not, we don't want to get into no names, all that stuff right here. But what you need to know is it's changed.
Okay, now I got 2 more things, and then I'm through. Okay, on Cedar Avenue, before Mountain View, I think that's Arsdale, that's 52. I've been living up here since 78. The garbage be sitting on the corner. Why is the garbage not sitting in front of their house when they come out their door?
It's supposed to.
They're sitting on the corner. So they put their garbage out there. It could be mattress, everything. It's just sitting there. It makes the street look real bad.
And you know which house that came from, you said?
52.
Okay.
Okay?
Because that's illegal dumping.
They got the sign on Cedar Avenue say 52, but the house when they go in is gone.
So we have to write them up. They're gonna pick the garbage up, then we have to send code enforcement to write them up. But ultimately, hopefully that changes. I'm sure it will. We making some level sets around DPW. A lot of things are changing over there, and by God's grace, we'll have this thing put together properly in a couple of weeks.
All right, I got one more last night.
Yep.
I'm in the middle between 92, 94, and 98. And the back of me is 85 Chelsea. They don't clean their property up. The one at 98, I have to call him up and say, if you don't sit up there and cut that daggone grass and take that garbage out, I'm calling the code enforcement. He'll get somebody up in a few minutes out there to clean it up, but he don't do it. The house next door is the LLC, 92, 94, same thing. They got the lady on the first floor moved out, they got that garbage all out there in the backyard.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, that's code enforcement. We should come to the block and take a.
Thank you. And then I have the one on 85 where his wall, the wall, that's at 3, but this I'm a surround. The wall is dropping, right? So code enforcement man came out 2 years ago. I got somebody, y'all did a walkthrough to Cedar Avenue, you and a couple of the other people, okay? They got in touch with the guy because that house flips out hands constantly. They got the guy that came. He came and he talked to me because his root from his tree was breaking up the center block, so it was knocking down my garage that I had to put back up again, okay? So he got rid of that, but it's the wall. It's coming down the brick. Right, and that's not mine, so I don't want to fix that.
All right.
Okay?
We coming over there. I gotta go after this, so VA, you gotta take over.
See that?
I wanna listen to Barbara Jimlock here.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Barbara Jimlock, and I'm at 731 South 18th Street. I received a letter from Indamail, and it stated that it was from Ras Baraka, and this was supposed to help us with our PSE&G bill that's supposed to be going up. And I questioned it. I called the people and they said it was legit. But since we get so much mail that tries to defraud us, I told them that I knew Raz personally, and I don't think it's true. So I just spoke with him right now, and he said it is true. So it seems like Newark is trying to help us with our PSE&G bill. So if you got this letter, then it's true. Thank you for that.
But you don't be upset because about 1,500 people called and said the same thing. Most of the people I know. This ain't your signature.
Okay, now for a complaint. Again, at 731 South 18th Street, they're building new houses and they're digging dirt, debris, and they don't even put up a mesh to stop the dirt from getting on our cars and our driveways or anything like that. And we're also not being able to know if they, did some rodent abatement to treat the soil and stuff, so it can prevent those rodents from coming into our property. So how do we find out if they are being treated for rodent abatement for these new houses that they're digging, and why they're not putting up the mesh to keep the debris and dirt from coming into our neighborhood?
Good evening again. So we do work with the HEPS soil erosion and soil controls. It's a regional organization, but in the city of Newark, we're autonomous. So depending on the square footage of the area that has been disturbed, we could come in. So you can call my office, 973-733. I'll give it to you, 8520. And I can see you before we part. But yes, we can definitely come in because so that you know, when you see that in the neighborhood, that can be a federal offense. Letting soil, dirt on the street into our waterways is a federal offense. Okay?
I just want to say too, anybody that has people developing or building on their block, all of it is regulated by UCC. So just because they're building doesn't mean they can do whatever they want. They can't work all hours of the night. The way you see if a person has a permit, it has to be posted. If you don't see a permit posted, you have to assume they don't have one. Then you need to call UCC and tell them to come down there and look at what's going on. They can't leave garbage and debris all over the place. They can be fined for all that stuff. So they can't just come and build and leave the place looking a mess. So if that's an issue, you should call her. Even if it's not that complicated or sophisticated, if you think they're not doing what they're supposed to do while they're building on your block, there is regulation to direct how they do that.
I just wanted to add something that the city is doing to try and control the rat population that we have. Yes. So traditionally we've always taken the reactive response to rat control. We find out there's an infestation and we come out, we lay down the rodenticides and the poison, and eventually the rats will be killed off. But rats are pretty intelligent creatures, right? And so there's something called bait aversion. When they recognize that a food source is a hazard to them, they'll start to avoid that food source altogether. And so to combat that issue, we're now taking a proactive approach. So we're using rat birth control. The rat birth control will eventually sterilize the rats so that they're infertile and unable to reproduce. It interrupts the sperm maturation process, the fertility process, and over time, we'll begin to see a dramatic decrease in our rat population. Thank you.
Can I just remind you all, let's keep it to 2 minutes. There's a long line and we are running out of time, so please.
Hi, good evening. My name is Vanessa Roberts. I live on Cliff Street, and I just want to know what are the policies around families curbing their dogs. Like, I live on Cliff. I think everybody in that neighborhood, Oakland, St. Paul, Dover, everybody must have a dog. And no one walks around with a bag, and they just poop in front of people's houses and keep it moving. So I just want to know, how do we stop that? What's the policy around people curbing their dogs, and how do we get the word out about that?
Sure, I'm not the mayor, but I'm going to stand in here in his stead. I am the business administrator. I'm going to do my best to answer a question. I'm not as affable as he is. I can't give you speeches like he does, but I can tell you that the law is if your dog poops, they have an obligation, the owner of the dog has an obligation to pick it up. Failure to pick it up is a violation, and they can be fined.
Go ahead, no, go ahead, I'm sorry.
You're right about that.
Yeah, I would add, if you have an area where you have concerns and you want curb your dog signs put up, please reach out to 4311. Our animal control officers will visit the location, and in addition to working with engineering to identify where the curb your dog signs need to be placed, we also provide education in that area so that everyone knows what the rules are and the laws are.
There aren't any in that area at all.
Where do you live?
On Cliff Street, in between Richelieu and Oakland. 48. And one more question. Who will be responsible for the planters on South Orange Avenue? Not the new ones that you guys put, but there's more the square ones. Because like the one in front of Dollar Tree is used as a garbage can, mostly. And it's not being taken care of, and there's always garbage in it and around it. Is it the business responsibility? Or is it the city's responsibility? Who is responsible for that nasty looking plant? Or can it be removed?
Yeah, the planter was likely put there by the Special Improvement District, Westport Special Improvement District, and they have a responsibility to clean it up. I don't, is that, do you know if that's the?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
so I'll be the information, I'll forward it over.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joyce Hunt from 59-61 South Munn Avenue. I have a list of concerns. Number one.
This is within the 2 minutes you had?
Not really, but anyway,
Unless you can.
the number one, the street seems like a raceway. People are speeding through there like crazy, day and night. And the speed hump, bump, whatever you want to call it, the lines are not there, so people don't see it. They don't read signs, so they just fly through the street. And many of my neighbors' cars have already been damaged because people are hitting that speed hump too fast and not seeing any lines on it. So the speed hump needs to be lined. The street itself needs to be paved. It's in terrible condition. There has been patch-ups, but that's not enough. The patching does not last. So that's my number one concern. Another concern about signs. Again, I have the same problem as this young lady with the dogs. And of course I heard your answer about that. But also, there needs to be some signs put up telling people no drugs, no sex, no littering. I have this going on all the time across the street from my house. I'm across from the park. And they find that side of the street convenient to come and park and do their thing and leave their trash behind. I'm tired looking at it. I'm tired seeing it. And sometimes I get so tired of it, I go out and clean it up myself. And I shouldn't have to do that. I'm 80 years old. I'm too old for this stuff. I can't do this. You know, thank you. And we also have people parking across the street by the park, eating, and then throwing out their garbage and leave it behind. So I don't know if signs will help, but something needs to be done.
On that one, could I direct you to speak up? Public safety is here. No, I want public safety because I don't want you, okay, Director Miranda is there, somebody else from public safety to talk about, you don't have to talk about directors now, you need to see them afterward to address the issues that you're experiencing about drugs and illicit sex on your property. You got to talk to the community liaison, make sure they're aware of it. We don't have no sex signs. We don't have, those signs aren't going to, they're not going to be effective. No, that is a sign that would not be effective. That is one of the, I understand, but I think the mayor talked earlier about making sure that you get to know your police community liaison, get to know the precinct commander, make sure that they're aware of what's going on, that it's a quality of life issue in your area. And so they know that it's serious to you, they know who you are, they know that you're a serious person that you want to make sure that your community is a beautiful community, both physically and with the people who live in it. And when people get to know people, they are more likely than not to help you.
Right.
So you get to know them, they get to know you. You can talk to them later on.
Right. Okay, and now another concern is the street sweeper. Most of the time, they come on the residential side, but not on the park side. South Mon Avenue. I don't know about the other streets, but they don't sweep the streets.
I hate to make, I don't like excuses because it's not helpful. We have to deal with it. South Orange Avenue is a community, is a county road. And so they have principal responsibility for cleaning that road. On side streets and other streets, that is a function of DPW. We have the new interim director here. I don't know if he has any people here, but you can speak to him again about that. But the South Orange Avenue is a county road. I've taken that information down. I'll make sure that I communicate it to the county as well to make sure that they have regular cleaning of the street.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, good evening, Geraldine Clark, 101 Norwood Street in Newark. Very quickly, I'll just reiterate the speed bumps. We have vehicles that have been damaged. The trash is atrocious. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not taking my leave bags. They're still on the curb. I've called 4311 several times, and they're still
You're
on
looking
the
at Director
curb.
Dean.
I'm looking directly.
Yeah, he's not the striping of the speed humps or the
I'm looking at him about the trash. I just said the speed bumps very quickly.
Well, he's got to look at it about the
Very
trash.
quickly.
Because she's directed your question to somewhere else.
No, I just
Make
have
sure
to look at him. I'm sorry.
You're cutting her off by
I'm
jumping
sorry.
in. You shouldn't jump in. You should be quiet.
Can we make sure that we have one meeting? The person who has the mic should be the only one speaking, please. Let's show some respect, house rules. Thank you.
And I apologize.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just have to look over there. Okay. And so I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to prolong anything that's already been said. But we have that problem with speed bumps, curb your dog signs. We would like them on Norwood Street also. My main concern was to the mayor was tree stumps that are safety havoc. Right in front of my house, 101, the stump goes all the way across the street, the sidewalk. 100 is like climbing up a mountain and going back down. We've addressed this for several years. We would like to see that happen.
He's the tree guy too.
Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna look over there. You already.
You can look at it. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So parking also. We have the street sweeper come by, but there's cars all over the street. Nobody is moving their cars anymore. We have trailers, we have buses, we have U-Hauls, we have, how do you clean the street? We're wasting taxpayers' money if you're not going to ticket the car, tow the car, and get them out the way. We pay taxes, we want our streets clean. I'm going to leave it right there. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. With respect to the street sweeping, I think it seems to be a concern of not just you know, other folks here. One of the things that we have started doing is trying to get the Newark Parking Authority to come out with our street sweepers in advance of the street sweepers and ticket the cars. And where necessary to tow them. So somebody else has some additional comments over there.
Well, let me say this. I've seen them in the Ivy Hill section, but I have not seen them on the south side of Sanford Avenue.
You don't know.
I'm on Norwood.
We're working on it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I just make the announcement, please? I know you guys want to talk to the directors, but please not do it during the meeting because they're taking their attention off the person with the mic. You can talk to them afterwards.
Hello, my name is Jimmy McCoy, Westport resident. I wanted to address do it all before you left. Okay. In reference to the tax and tax abatements, that when you guys vote for 30-year tax abatement to corporations that have the money to pay for it and owe the city, how do you guys not see what it does to the people, the residents?
What is your position specifically? Because I'm not sure you've accurately characterized the tax abatement with respect to what it does to the people and how it's hurting, how these businesses, let me finish if you're gonna have a question. How these businesses are affected. Look, I'm not the same as the mayor. The mayor is amazing. I am not. I just am a fact-based person. I want to get the information from you and give it back to you. First of all, we don't have any more 35-year tax abatements. We don't have 35-year tax abatements that are currently becoming for the council. 30-year tax abatements are fewer and fewer before they come before the council. And a tax abatement is not no taxes. It is a pilot, which is a payment in lieu of taxes, which is based on the land value and the property and what is the adjusted gross income based on what the project is. So the developer still pays taxes. I'm planning on going back and forth. I just want to clarify what it is that you're talking about with respect to tax abatements, because I want the people to understand what a tax abatement is. If you want to correct me, by all means.
You're very defensive.
I'm not defensive.
But I want to also talk about with all recycling. What happens to that money to the city?
It goes into the general fund typically so that we can provide services to the residents, pay for the salaries, not do a better job on street sweeping, do a better job on garbage collection, make sure we have police enforcement, and fire services, all other services, the same as taxes that anybody else pays.
Good evening, my name is Pat Jackson on Underwood Street. First, I would like to say, I think the city of Newark have some of the rudest employees when you call them to complain. Quality service, they're so rude, it's ridiculous. My other issue is this noise ordinance with the music 2, 3 o'clock in the morning has got to stop. We call the police, we call the police. The reason why it's so important that people should not play their music that loud, we have children that are autistic, and the music and stuff drives them up a wall. We have a neighbor on the block. Her son gets up and starts running through the house, she has to calm him down. It's not fair. And the other thing is, the mayor talked before about blocks getting permit parking. We have permit parking. We have a building, 251, 252, on Stuyvesant Avenue. We've been dealing with the West Dupree's office going on 2 years. Nothing has really been done. And last weekend they had parties and parties, and you call and you call and you call, and nothing's being done.
Can I ask you two questions? One, your name and your street if you...
I did Pat Jackson, 93 Underwood Street.
I'm sorry, what street?
Underwood.
Underwood.
Yes. But what is the purpose of getting permit parking from 10 at night to 6 in the morning if the police are not going to give out tickets? You know, it's so bad sometimes, people on the block cannot park because when they have these parties and things, they have to wait till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to go out and park their cars because they're parked 3 blocks away. So quality of life is really an issue, and sometimes that's the biggest issue. You know, for a new neighbor to come in and spend $500,000 or $600,000 on a house, and they have to endure this, no, it's not fair. It's not. Thank you.
You're welcome. Third question. You said Underwood has permit parking? You said Underwood Street?
It's between Stuyvesant, it's Stuyvesant and Sanford, not the lower end, the dead end. It's Stuyvesant and Sanford that has a permit parking.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Yolanda Andrews, and I live 82 Underwood Street. Ms. Bay, she spoke, Ms. Pat spoke, we got the same issues. My thing is, what is the parking permit for if nobody's going to come and enforce it? That's money for the city. You understand? I live in Newark. I don't want to go to South Orange. You can't afford South Orange. I live uptown Newark, not downtown, but uptown. So we need to take better care of our people first. The police, there was a fire last night at 251, 253. Like she said, we've been fighting this thing for 2 years. The fire department came out last night. I spoke to community fire department on 18th Avenue. They took a complaint and they said somebody was going to come out. So now, when I called this morning, they said somebody would be out there sooner than they told me before. So we need to address that when we come as a community. We trying to say where we live at. My block is a nice block. Because let me tell y'all something, I'm home all day. and you walk on my block and I ain't seen you in the neighborhood, I'm coming out to ask questions. Okay, call me nosy, call me whatever, but that's what I'm supposed to do. Because when you go in other communities, ride and sit on the street. They call 2 cops on me in South Orange. Well, I'm just sitting here. I pay taxes. Why? So that's what we have to do. But in order for us to do this, we have to work together collectively. Not pass the buck like code enforcement did this morning. Everybody pass the buck to everybody. No, you're getting paid to do a service. Do it and be glad. Because today in this world, you need a job. So when they start coming to clean house, don't ask nobody, look at that man in the mirror or that woman and say, what happened? You happened. Come on. I've been on that block for 27 years. We ain't had no trouble and we ain't gonna have none now. Now you might have to come to bail me out because I'm a fight for what I work for hard, okay? It ain't come easy. None of us need seniors. Come on, they built the community. What's wrong with us? We have to have better policies and we all have to work together. That's all I got to say. And my name is Yolanda Andrews and y'all will be here. Now you said about community and what you call that? Block association. We did all that. We done called the people. Miss Patty's our vice president. We ain't had no response yet in 3 months. Now what's the problem with that one?
You calling the people's assembly?
I'll talk to her afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah,
thank you, because I talked to Miss Pat last week. But
Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Marie Nazaire. I don't want to say it in English. Marie Nazaire. I speak French. Marie Nazaire. I'm from 82 Pine Grove Terrace. Unfortunately, well, I don't see Mr. Baraka here, but I see his brother. First of all, I want you to put me in the paywall, the city paywall, please. That's the first thing. My first question is to put me in the city's paywall. I am from South Orange, Maplewood, moving to Newark. Trust me. With Ras Baraka, yes, way better than before. Because I used to come from work, stay at my sister's house in Maplewood. I didn't want to come to the house. Too much was going on. But, first thing I want to ask, second, I'm asking the inspectors, if you don't live in Newark, but you're getting paid to work in Newark, stop taking food or little $50 from the businessmen in the West Ward. If you are an inspector here tonight, I'm 73 years old. I am tired of it. Stop taking little change, little plate of food from the business people in on West Ward. I'm tired of it. And when they're talking about cleaning, I am not supposed to clean Pine Grove Terrace. If you see Pine Grove Terrace now, who live around, Pine Grove Terrace is clean because of me. The corner, I never asked the city for a penny. I go, I buy. I'm lying or not? The corner of Pine Grove and South Orange Avenue, all the plants, the flowers, me. I have a lot of problems because of that. People who have business around, they are mad. They say they're going to ask the city to close that area because they're not feeling well with the plants around, but the plants is at the corner. They say they're going to ask the city to remove that thing at the corner. I say the city can't. I already contact Trenton. The city can't. Also, somebody already talked about sweeping. We don't get the sweepers. I have to call every week. The sweepers, they're not showing up. I have to call and call. And I think they know my name sometimes, I think they're mad at me. But the sweepers, please do your job. Sweepers, if you don't like it, quit. Let somebody else do it. Sometimes the sweepers are talking to their friends on the street. I drive my car and I can see. They stop the truck and talking to their friends. They don't come in. And I'm the one with the boom. I'm 73 years old. I have more to say. You see I look good? Yes. Thank you. You see me? I have more to say, but
Mr. Zaire, I just did want to respond to two things. The main thing I want to say is thank you. So I want to respond to two things that you said. The first is I want to thank you for cleaning up and sweeping and making sure that your corner is clean. That's consistent, I think, with the objective that the mayor has to make sure that we have neighborhoods who take pride in, individuals take pride in their communities. We have to do a better job. Part of that will start with what you're doing. We are now working hard. Okay, oh, that's right. I appreciate it. I mean, it really
By
was
myself.
good. And with respect to street sweeping, I think we are taking notice that we have to do a better job of street sweeping throughout the city, but particularly in your case, Pine Grove Terrace, Underwood, and I think there are a couple of other streets that I have on my notes that I follow up on as well. Norwood. But thank you very much, Mr. Zitron.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, and thank you all for coming out, because we aren't going to get a better city if we don't come together. At any rate, Michael Hurd, 23 Mead Street, New York, New Jersey. I only came up here for one thing, and I will move to that quickly, but the street sweeping is very key. They don't come through on a regular basis, even on Mead Street, and the police response to keeping the ticketing so that people who have this street cleared for sweeping is off the radar unless someone calls, and when someone calls, it's very often off the radar. But I came up here about 528 Sanford Street, which is a large store, a small store with a large apartment building as part of the store. And I think a 20-unit or more brick apartment building shouldn't be picked up by city. I think it should be private cartage. I might be wrong. The city does pick it up. No, I'm wrong? Okay.
It's the city's responsibility.
Okay, great. I'm glad that it is.
There could be a couple of exceptions.
But regardless of that, we fought very hard and called, and our sewers are very often clogged as well in that area, and they're called in. And sometimes when they're cleaned haphazardly, not well. But in terms of 528 Sanford Avenue, they have garbage out all week, every week, and through a lot of effort, it got cleaned up one day, boom, overnight. The owner was out there with the sanitation people, and they moved it out. This how many months ago? I don't recall. But within 3 weeks, it was back. And with calls, once you have a success, keep the success going. And we just have Groundhog Day, and we shouldn't be living in filth throughout our city, and certainly in the blocks that are holding up, like Marie's, for instance, should be getting all the support. And if you clean up, if you do something to the owner of a building, and he takes the trash off the street, moves the carts onto his property so that the sidewalk isn't blocked, so you don't have to go out in the street to get around the garbage. Once you have that success, you should keep that success going, or your department is worthless. It's just make show. And I just, so 528 Sanford.
Yeah, there's a couple of, I'm going to modify my answer. It's not that they have no responsibility. For the store, they do have to have private carding for the store. For the residences, unless they have tax abatement, like somebody else brought up before, then the city's responsible for picking up the residential portion of the garbage. For a building that size, however, they have to have containers of a certain size to accommodate the buildings. And they too have to be containers that are closable and can be picked up by the city. And the DPW department can give that information to them. But I think we have that information. We'll follow up that with code enforcement and with DPW.
We would like to keep our small successes. We really
appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Peace and blessings. My name is Mutal Amin, Westwood resident. My issue is we currently are having an economic genocide. I know that all Newarkers aren't a monolith and everybody isn't experiencing the same thing, but the majority of Newarkers in the West Ward are currently experiencing pain economically. We just witnessed the dissolution of Local 55, which employed a lot of local Newark residents.
What local is that? Local
55.
I mean, what is it?
They were going through housing. They were fixing up housing. They was through housing. My concern is the youth that I'm trying to guide to get out of the streets. Where do I send them when there are many jobs with prevailing wages. One of the things that I would like to, one advice I would like to offer is we're about to do a bunch of construction in housing. So most of the housing is about to get renovated. We need to make sure we're training our North youth and our North residents. So they're gonna be doing plumbing, sheetrocking, electrical. You're talking about hundreds and hundreds of apartments that are about to get fixed. We should have some type of apprentices on those jobs since we know that they're being done by our outside contractors now. One more thing, the Department of Sanitation, they have a lot of heavy machine equipment. I think they do when demolition as well. So if we could figure out how to implement a training program within the Department of Sanitation, I think that would be beneficial as well.
Thank you, Mr. Elderman. On the construction and renovation on North Council, I mean, it doesn't have to be directed to you, but just on the renovation of the Housing Authority, we meet with the Housing Authority monthly to address issues such as this. We actually had a meeting with them yesterday. I think yesterday, and they are talking about renovating several of their units and doing some new development with them as well. And I'm happy to bring back to the executive director, his name is Leonard Spicer, your suggestion about making sure that they use New Yorkers on the jobs to do the renovation. My understanding is that the people who are doing the work there now, they do comply with first source. At least they tell us that they comply with first source. But they haven't done that good job.
Absolutely. So there's a company called Full Op, and
I'm sorry.
There's a company called Full Op that currently has the contract. It's $1.5 million to $5 million, and on the site they have no. I'm in Bradley Court. They have no local residents. So I actually questioned them about it, and
I'll follow up. Thank you.
I just want to take a quick opportunity to hone in on something very important. We need more Newarkers in the trades. We need more Newarkers on the trades so they can move up to become our building officials one day. We need more Newarkers in the trade. So I just wanted to hone in on that because that will help us as a city to move up our own people inspecting our buildings.
I come from the school. They took all that stuff out of the schools. Yeah.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Mary Smith. I live on Lanark Avenue in the West Ward, and I want to thank the City of Newark for having this meeting. And some of the issues that I have on my street is trash pickup. I know we've gone through that, but it's not just the pickup, it's how they pick the trash up. They would pick up one bag out of your trash and leave the rest of the trash in the trash bin. You call the city and you let them know, and they say, oh, they said they picked it up. No, they don't take the whole trash can and dump it. They pick up the bag that's on the top and leave the trash in the can. Okay?
I appreciate that.
And the next issue is, I know we spoke on street sweeper. He comes and he drives and do 10 miles an hour going through the street. He never pushed the brush down. So when they said he came, he did come. But he didn't do the job when he came. All right? My next issue is, I have never seen anyone clean the sewer out on the end of the street. I clean the street, I sweep up the street, I'm retired, and I'm home all day long, so I see what's going on. When it rains, there's trash, there's bottles, there's clothes, right at the end of the street of Lanark and Sanford Avenue. I go and get garbage bags and I clean that up. But there is a problem with the sewer overflowing on the street because no one has ever came and cleaned it up that I know of. I remember at one point they did have a crew that did come out, lift that up and clean it out. Now, I haven't seen that in about 12 years.
Now, I'm smiling because all the issues that you raised are now under the direction of Kareem Adeem right here. The water and sewer issue, and the street sweeping issue, and the garbage collection where they pull one bag out at a time.
Yeah.
It's a supervision issue more than anything else. And Director Adeem and I, and the people who work for them have met with the supervisors as recently as last week to let them know that they have a title of supervisor, and their job is to supervise. And they have to get out on the road, following up before the trucks get there and after the trucks go by to make sure that they do the things that you say they are doing. We're following up
One
on
more
that.
other question. Sure. With the trash.
Yep.
When they dump the trash, if they drop anything, they leave it all on the street. I gotta go sweep it up, put it in a bag, for them to pick it up the next time. When they drop stuff, they do not pick it up. They leave it. And then it's just terrible. And I mean, I love the city of Newark, and I know Newark loves me because I'm still here. And I mean, we all want the same thing, quality of life.
Well, that's why it's important to hear what it is. You said that, a lot of what you said, other people have said, but it's important for you to say, to reiterate, to make sure that we understand that it's a significant issue, not just on Norwood or Underwood, but on the North, as you say, on South Orange Avenue. So appreciate you bringing this to our attention. And it will help us emphasize to our employees that they have to do their jobs and that the supervisors have to supervise. We will definitely follow up on that. I think Director Dean wants to address.
Yeah, I just want to address that. The water department, DPW, the street sweeper is responsible for cleaning the debris on top of the sewer, on top of the sewer. The water department, we send a crew out. We have 48,000 catch basins, those storm drains throughout the city. So you may see us, we come out and we inspect it to see if the truck needs to come and lift the grate off and then clean it. But we may not get to your area yet. If it's flooding, you'll see us in the area because we're cleaning. Not every catch basin needs cleaning inside, it mainly needs cleaning outside. But I did take Lenark down, right, and we'll visit that whole area again. Right?
I thank you.
How much time do we have, Serenity? Do the best.
Okay, if we could just keep to the two top comments, please, because we have to exit the school, and I want to make sure you all be able to speak.
Good evening, my name is Chevrolet. I live on Monarch. Miss Mary is my neighbor. And my biggest issue is the trees. When it rains, it's hanging in the middle of the street. You have to bend down just to pass, right on the corner. And another big issue that she talked about is with the garbage on the corner, where the guys from the corner, they come and they park and they hang out, and sometimes they park in our gate. We can't, I particularly me, I don't have a driveway. I'm one of the few people that doesn't have a driveway. And they just park any old way. They'll park the car. The people on the main would park in front of my house, and they leave their car there the whole weekend, and they don't come back. I have an issue with that because I'm paying tax. I should be able to park in front of my house. I know it's public parking, and I don't mind people park, but they could park with some sensitivity so the next person could park behind them. I have a two-family house, and they just park any old way. You can't even have a second car there. It's not fair.
Can I ask you the address where the tree is located?
The trees, even in the wintertime, when the snow hits it, it's like literally.
Well, I'm going to put
I have to go like this.
I'm going to put in a request to trim it. I just want to wear it.
I'm at 60 Lanark, but it's on the corner.
Is it closer to what?
It's close to the corner of Sanford Avenue.
Okay. I'll follow up on that.
Good evening, everyone, and I want to thank the administration for having this meeting tonight. My name is Eddie Pierce of Norman Road. On behalf of Ideal Neighborhood Association, I want to appeal to this administration. I think the mayor mentioned it earlier when he started the meeting, and my question to you all, or should I just say, an appeal is, we're having a hard time as Ideal Neighborhood Association just getting access to the schools as we used to conduct our monthly meetings. And we no longer have access to it, I'm sure, as most of you know, because of that third-party entity. What I'm asking, and I know I'm not getting answers tonight, but I want to see if I can get support from this administration for allowing us neighborhood associations, us block associations, access to the schools. We have the endorsements from the principals, and they're telling us all we have to do is go through that third-party entity. That's an obstacle for us. If you guys give us that, you allow us to assemble ourselves so that when you have these meetings, we will have half of it resolved. Because all we need is facilities to these public buildings so that we can conduct our meetings. That's all I'm asking.
We're certainly happy to look into it, but the city had to get permission to be here from the school system as well.
Yeah, I understand.
So I'll reach out to them.
Any resources y'all can tap into.
Okay, we'll reach out.
I will say I'll be happy to work with you, but also you guys have to reach out and let us know when you're having meetings so we can support you.
Oh, most definitely. You come.
I come to some, but not all.
Yeah, we've had all y'all here. I mean, at our meetings. But all I'm saying is, if
Good
we have
evening.
access to the
My name is Gipper Boston,
Hi, Mr. Cruz.
and I live on 131 Pine Grove Terrace. And my complaint is there is a alley in the back of my house, and it belongs to the city. And they used to come there and clean at least 2 or 3 times a year, but they don't anymore. And people just keep coming. There's one garage there that's kind of abandoned and broken, and people just come from everywhere, I don't know where, and just dump everything in that garage. And it's so disgusting. Recently, somebody just came and dumped about 20 Rubbermaid container with clothes. I think they were moving and they just decided to dump everything there. And that's an infestation for rats to nest in there. And at one time I started getting rats in my backyard, and it was really upsetting to me. So I want to know if the city can put a fence or a gate where nobody can enter, because that area just belongs to the city. So nobody should be able to enter there if they put a gate, or ask the owner of that garage to tear it down completely, because it's just standing there with no roof. They are not using it. And the section that's facing me, that's where all the garbage gets dumped.
This garage is in the alley?
131 Pine Grove Terrace.
You said, but you said there's an alley behind you. That's where the garage is?
Yes, and it belonged to, I think, the people on Alexander Street, but that's the only garage that's left, and it's like abandoned with no roof, and the area that's facing me is like so much garbage, and the city comes and clean it, which is like 2 or 3 times a year, but they come right back and mess it up and just dump and dump and dump. It's disgusting. There's bulk once a month. Why can't you put your bulk by the street? Why it has to be there?
10 out of maximum, I guess.
What? And then there's a tree in front of my house. It's a really ugly tree, and it's starting to root up the concrete. So it's like the city would tear the tree down, but I would have to be the one to repair the concrete. It's not fair to me. I didn't plant the tree there. And I called them to take the tree down, they haven't come. And also, we need more police patrol on the street, because people come. I work 2 jobs, tired coming home, and there's always trash in front of the house. Trash, bottles, they stay out at night, they hang out on the street, and they throw all the garbage, all the alcohol bottles. I have to be picking up all like 12 bottles to put in my recycle. And we need more patrol, because it's not fair to clean up in front of your house and somebody has to come and mess it up and just dump their bottles everywhere. And the dog poop and they will pick it up. It's just not right. So that's my complaint. I would really like for the city to come and take care of that alley, so people can not put anything like that.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pamela McElvin. I'm with the Palm Tree Block Association and with the Available Parking Services. My question is ordinance, okay? I have a problem with the tractor trailers. I've spoken to several captains, 6,000. No one knew the exact ordinance. And when I was told, once upon a time, they said it would be a courtesy for trucks to park, which is not supposed to, overnight parking, but as a courtesy from 10 p.m. and be gone by 6 a.m. Okay, because it's the tractor trailers parked along a county park. My problem is when schools start, 14th Avenue, you got Speedway, you have with 15th Avenue, they travel that way. West side, they cut through the park. You have tractor trailers there. Now, I was told just recently that they can park there from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. And I said, you got absolutely, that don't make sense.
That's not the law. The law is that no commercial vehicle can park on any city street at any time.
Well,
they are allowed to stand while they're delivering something or picking something up, and that is it. So there is no overnight parking for a tractor or a trailer. Quite frankly, the ordinance includes you're not allowed to park a tractor in your driveway, even if it's your own tractor in your own driveway. That too is unlawful. I'm sure the police have to make some decisions as to what it is where they use their resources. But trailers parked on the street overnight, that's unlawful.
Well, they be parked there during the day. One trailer
That's
been
unlawful too.
Well, I called 6,000. One operator went back and forth with me, asked to speak to a supervisor. She said it was okay. From 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. I said, absolutely, that don't make sense.
Right. I don't expect you to have the information now, but I'd be happy to
Well,
take that
I
information.
called the county clerk office to get the exact ordinance. That's the only way I can get, nobody was giving me different answers. So finally I got the answer saying, no, they can't even park on the public street at all.
That's the right answer. They cannot.
Right, but look how long it took me to get that. And so I believe that evidently all the precincts need the 6,000. Evidently they not up to date with the ordinance of this. Because quality of life. Belgrade Park been just recently renovated, so it's gravitating a lot of people. So when you got this morning, Jackie Taylor was out there, you have to peep around there, and Origin Parkway, it needs some speed humps. It needs speed humps. That traffic's going so fast, and it's near missing kids. I be out there every morning when the kids, before they go to school. The near misses, okay? So it's definitely a safety issue. It's a quality of life. Just on Origin Parkway side. You know, that's where all the trucks, then you have the oversized box trucks. Then you have people putting out cones to block the area for selling what you call vendors. They have them out there early in the morning, but they probably don't come until later. So people's out there on the track or whatever doing something. They can't find them with park. I don't know if they're all permitted. And then that little island that's right there between that Divine, South Divine, and Origin Parkway. The playground area, like I said, one person asked, well, two people asked me, how come there's no signs? I said, we just got signs 2 years ago letting people know that that's a school zone area. Your speed limit is 25 miles per hour. And it's we just got them signs, a playground area. We didn't have them. So for all them years, okay. I walked this one more. One more thing, 2123 Norwood Place. I have complainants and pictures. Some of the seniors that's the perimeter of that property is so filthy. But he had the nerve to tell a senior next door to him, because one of them put a fence up to block the scenery. Told her he know people in City Hall, they're not gonna bother him. And right now today, and that's been a couple of years, that property is still the same.
I did want to follow up on the tractor trailer park. We are fortunate that we have Chief of Police here, Sharonda Morris. I know she's listening, and I suspect that we'll get a general order or a reminder out to public safety about the prohibition of tractor trailers and other commercial vehicles to park on any city street, and we have to enforce that. And, we'll take care of that.
We actually have a system online where we send out memos to all our officers, and just recently we sent out a memo about the tractor trailer parking, and also another thing that we put into place where they couldn't tow because they didn't have the space, but we have another company that came in behind them. So whenever we can't get the tow through our tow company, that we have a backup tow company that could come and tow it. And also each week when we have our CompStat, which is when we go over our crimes and our issues with all the precinct captains, they always go over how many tractor trailers they towed and how many they ticketed, because we know that it's an ongoing issue. So we do understand, and whenever you get information that's not right, you always have the right to call or speak to a supervisor from the precinct or speak to the captain directly, and they always will guide you in the right way. And there's also meetings in all the precincts.
So all the precincts, as you can see, one of our community service officers here, they're always there to deal with all the situations in each precinct, being like the mayor said earlier, that everyone have specific situations that they deal with in their area. That's why all the precincts have their own separate meetings that you could go to and speak to the captain. They can always guide you in the right way.
Good evening, and thank you for this meeting, because it's really been very beneficial. I'm Jeannie Bell, District 32, part of the Ivy Hill Neighborhood Association. I can honestly say that I don't have a lot of the issues. We do work with the 6th precinct. We've had, no problems with them. We have worked with Sarenthia. My issue is the businesses on Sanford Avenue. My street is Mountain View Place, between Sanford and Ellery. It's a very, very small block. But in terms of the businesses that are on Sanford Avenue from Mount Vernon to Fleetwood, who's responsible for cleaning up? Because the people on my block basically take care of their home. On Sanford Avenue, the businesses that are there, especially 2 particular businesses on Sanford Avenue, are not really responsible. So in terms of the garbage that piles up and in terms of other things that occur, who's responsible for the businesses? Because the residents on my block are not.
The city is responsible for enforcing the businesses' responsibility to clean up the garbage from their businesses and what they place out in the street. They're supposed to have a trade waste permit and have a private hauler to take their garbage away. If they don't do that, it's our responsibility to cite them and fine them appropriately so that they comply. Certainly you can bring that to engineering, code enforcement. Well, it looks like the director of engineering is taking that information now and follow up on that.
Okay. Hi, my name is Mary Hogue, and I live on Dassing Avenue in Newark. And I have 3 buildings that we have within my 2 minutes. But let's get it straight. I am a supporter of Ras J. Baraka. I didn't know that's the way I feel about him. And I met him when I met his mother when she was carrying him. So that's how long I've been knowing him. And I don't like bringing my dirty laundry out here, but I have a problem. I have a lot that I've had like 20 years. And this year they took the lot away from me. It's on the corner of Speedway Avenue and Dassing. It's 4852 Dassing Avenue. I clean that lot, and it's a big lot, and I clean it. When Miss Harris gave it to me, she said, Miss Hogue, are you going to be able to take care of it? I said, yes, I am. They had dumped, they used it as a dumping ground, all kinds of rocks and bricks, and what the community helped me do was make a border out of it and put it all around the lot. But they took it, and then nothing has been done with it. It looks a mess. And anybody who can provide by there tonight and go see it, and I can't get any answers as to what they're going to do with it. But everybody told me, even my kids said, Mom, you're going to clean that lot up, and the only thing they're going to do is come by and take it away, but on that LLC with some money, come and get it from me. And I feel so bad because I'm 79 and I'll be 80, and that was my little thing. I live 2 doors from it. I come out in the morning, go get the lot, clean up the lot. And they said because I have a car. The car's been over there ever since I had the lot. I keep my tools and things in that car because there was a big apartment building that burnt down. And it had those, oil burners, the oil. And they didn't cook them up, so when I got the lot, they told me that I didn't have to put any, because they garden and stuff, and so many times, I'm just hurt. I am really hurt because I had that lot so long. And then we need speed bumps. I'm right across the street from the school. We don't have any speed, we don't have any signs. You would never know that it's a school, and it's a handicap, special needs school. All the Speedway Avenue, it's 14th Avenue because right. And some of these problems people have with the employees, I don't have the problem. My garbage men are decent, they were hard working, they throw the garbage sometimes, but
said, I'll go out there and pick it up because it's my street. This is my city. I go out there and I sweep. And anybody go past, you tell my house. Because if we don't clean it up, as my mother said, if you don't take care of your house, ain't nobody, don't expect nobody else to do it. So I want to thank all of you guys. I know you're here working overtime and you ain't gonna get paid, so. But I want to thank you and may God bless all of us, because this is our city, and if we don't take care of Newark, ain't nobody else gonna take care of Newark for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Booth. I think you got the last question.
Just before we close out, there's a couple of announcements that we need to make. I'm gonna let Gabrielle make the first announcement.
This is just a friendly reminder that there is food distribution tomorrow, which will take place on South Orange Avenue and Columbia Avenue. And you've all heard a few times tonight that the mayor has started his clean initiative with respect to all the wards. We will be in the West Ward this Saturday and Sunday. And there will be dumpsters placed out. On Saturday, the dumpster locations are Norwood Street and 18th Avenue, Roosevelt Avenue, and 7th Avenue, as well as on Sunday, Mount Vernon Place, Tuxedo Parkway, and 14th Ave and 19th Street. There are flyers on the North People's Assembly table.
Just so you know, there is a table with all the information from the different departments. So if there's some resources and phone numbers you need to get, it's on the table. I'll be here at the end. Just keep in mind, we do have to exit the school. So if you want to have a conversation, we got to keep it to a minimum. And if you need to start a block association, please reach out to me or see me and I can connect with you. Thank you all.